Welcome back to the channel. It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and yesterday was jam-packed with Starfield news and updates. Out of the blue, we got a double shot of awesome news that hit Twitter, a ton of new story details answered in the developer Q&A, what looks to be some early shots from Gamescom, and then a possible look into Starfield's future, and a huge hurdle it will need to overcome. I say this in every Starfield video, but your responses to my uploads have been overwhelming, and I guess I just wanted to say I'm truly grateful for all the love. In case you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. Likes, comments, shares are greatly appreciated. As per usual, I've included chapters for easy viewing, and away we go. Let's kick this one off with VASCO, and this tweet showcasing our robotic Constellation sidekick. And I didn't see it posted anywhere with this tweet, but judging from how high those ceilings are, this looks to me that it's the Gamescom setup, which is set to begin just under a week from now. Interesting that they've chosen to showcase VASCO's less offensive side, as we've seen just how much firepower this robot can wield, which admittedly would have been cool to see, but a bit more terrifying as well. Next up, and Twitter is the source of the next two pieces of Starfield info as well, starting off with some potential shenanigans the game will encounter the very moment it launches. Peter Ovo posted this one, and I'm not going to actually show you his comment, but the tweet states that this person is starting account 1 out of 1,000, goodbye Starfield score, and it shows the account registration page for Metacritic. Here's another one, again from Peter Ovo, and this post states, I know of one who has 600 Metacritic social accounts, ready to zero the game. You're in good hands, LOL. Now, I honestly don't know if this is going to be as bad as these tweets lead on. I truly hope not. I mean, if the game is bad, let it be judged on the merits of the game and not the issue that it is exclusive to a certain console. But on the flip side, if it is a success, let it enjoy its time in the limelight. Whatever happens, these kind of preemptive hate campaigns are never good for gaming, no matter the platform or genre. And finally, back to some positive Starfield information, and we got 3 items concerning the game itself, again, all via Twitter. Now, the first is an item I created a brief upload for yesterday, namely the fact that it was announced that Starfield has gone gold, and that the new pre-download dates were just confirmed and announced. Gone gold comes from the term Gold Master, which is a version of the game that its publishers have determined is good enough to be shipped to stores. So, TLDR version here, the game is done and ready to be sold. So throw out those old arguments that there was something wrong with Starfield because it hadn't yet gone gold. So somehow we should expect another delay or there were serious issues with development. Now, as far as the preload dates for Xbox S, and Windows PC, so you bought the PC version through the Microsoft Store, your pre-download begins today, August the 17th. If you purchase the Steam version, and I believe this includes the AMD free copies or say the code that comes with the upgraded PC versions like the Constellation edition, you can begin pre-downloading on August the 30th. And by the way, thanks to this tweet from Starfield News, we get to see that Starfield is actually coming in a bit higher than first announced, now sitting at 139.84 gigs of download space required. And now onto this Bethesda developer Q&A session with Will Shin and ML Pagliarulo that took place yesterday afternoon. And at first I was a bit concerned because of the format of this event, which turned out to be 16 questions that were initially hidden by the admin and then unveiled one by one, and Will and ML then responded via Discord chat, so with typed responses. But the information provided to those questions was golden, and I quickly forgot the format and started watching the answers just fly by. And big congrats to anyone that had their question selected by the dev group. Item number 1, and I know a lot of you had questions about housing. Specifically, could we buy houses in the main cities, which is something I thoroughly enjoyed in Skyrim, and it is confirmed that mechanic is back, but with a twist. Not only can you save up and purchase houses in all the major cities in the game, but there's at least one that you get specifically for completing a quest. So that apartment scene from the Supra et Ultra animated short is confirmed. Houses in all the main cities. This next question was one I actually found truly interesting, and it has to do with the kids stuff trait, and wanting to know if we picked that trait, would our parents be generated based on our character's look, or would they just be generic looking parents? And to my surprise, it was confirmed that Starfield is using a new face technology that takes our character's custom face and then creates two parents from that look. Much the same as with your father in Fallout 3 and your son in Fallout 4. For all you aspiring Starfield smugglers out there, there was a question about how the smuggling cargo system will work, which is definitely something I plan to dabble in. And the devs confirmed there are certain items contained within the game that no matter where you go, they are considered contraband, requiring the use of special ship modules we can purchase that can then hide those contents from scans. And an additional piece of information just revealed concerning smuggling has to do with the selling of items, either early in the game versus end-game, and here is where we now know that Starfield uses a fixed economy, meaning that ham sandwich costs the same throughout the game. But there are skills you can choose that can then vary the prices of bought and sold items. Another mechanic I was a frequent visitor to in my Skyrim playthroughs was committing crimes and going to jail, and it is being used once again in Starfield. Now, the settled systems will function more like Skyrim than Fallout 4's Commonwealth, but if you commit a crime and are caught, you can either elect to go to jail, pay a fine once you are arrested, or option C, resist arrest and try to escape. And along those lines, it was also asked if our economies, like trade routes, outposts, and mining operations, continue to produce while we are logged out of the game, and that is not to be, as the sim only runs while you are actively playing Starfield. Factions and faction-related questions were very much at the heart of many of the questions posed to the devs, and we got a ton of new information concerning many different facets of this mechanic. Faction infiltration was confirmed, as in joining one faction to spy on and report back to another faction, and there are specific missions actually requiring it, and for us to make choices as to which faction to favor. We also got some new backstory into the Sanctum Universum, Enlightened, and Varun factions and their belief systems, starting off with the Sanctum, and their beliefs that God exists in the universe and that grav drive jumping and exploration brings us closer to this being. The Enlightened are atheists that focus on humanitarian and community work, and the Varun are truly interesting, as their sect is based on one of their followers who claims to have communed with a giant serpent during a grav jump. This group will prove to be truly special, and it was noted that throughout our explorations, we will get the opportunity to engage their zealots in combat. The question was asked if there was a pacifist mode in Starfield, and would we be able to complete the entire game without killing another person or just potentially killing anything. And this was looked into during the early planning stages of Starfield, and non-lethal was not seen as feasible. But in place of that option, there are traits that allow you to talk your way out of potential conflicts, and the ability to equip and use non-lethal weapons. Companions, and more specifically, how many companions, was another interesting topic, and both developers confirmed there are over 20 named characters that can now join your crew, with an emphasis on members of Constellation. Inspiration for the companion system was drawn from previous Bethesda titles, and it was also mentioned that although the credits have not been made public, the companion voice cast is amazing, incorporating a lot of talented actors to bring those characters to life, and it makes me wonder who we might see on that list. A follow-up to the companion question had to do with assigning crew to work at our outpost and paying them salaries, and that was also revealed as a one-time hiring fee. As there are so many other items going on within the game, the devs wanted to minimize what the player had to constantly keep track of. Our companion traits were also inquired about, and from the information provided, these companions come with a preset list of traits that are set at a rank, and they do not level up as we do, but their traits will stack with our characters when relevant. Highlighted traits had to do with ship benefits, such as shields and combat related, as we will be able to instantly feel those in our playthroughs. There was then a few generalized questions pertaining to sources of influence for the game, favorite pieces of immersion, and then the devs revealed a bit of a ringer for their final question. What is the history of the Mechs? Now, Every other question that was featured during this Q&A session also stated the Discord name of the individuals who had submitted it, but this one in particular showed no tags, so who knows if the devs added this one in for themselves. Anyways, here's the story on these mechs. They were used in the Colony War, and both the United Colonies and Freestar Collective did make use of them, with the Freestar Collective truly mastering them in battle. Now, the United Colonies did have mechs too, but they more heavily relied on controlled alien beasts from their Xeno Warfare division, and when I saw this, I instantly remembered a couple of very short clips from the direct presentation with this ultra-aggressive alien creature just kind of going on a rampage, and it all started to make sense. This beast must have been a leftover from the United Colonies' Xeno program. Now, both mechs and the Xenos were outlawed as part of the provisions of the ending of the Colony War, and the dev session concluded with a teaser. I'm not saying there's an old mech battleground in the game, I'm typing it. Yeah, I know there's a lot of new information here to digest. Make use of those chapters if you need to go back and listen to a certain area of the video, but if yesterday is any indication of how fast and heavy the Starfield info is going to start arriving, we are all going to be worn out come launch day. Remember to hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. Likes, comments, shares are greatly appreciated. All my socials can be found in the video description. Shout out to the nearly 137,000 of you that have taken the leap and hit subscribe. And a special thanks goes out to my patrons and to those of you firing off those incredible YouTube super chats. They are awesome to see. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.